I grew up in a care home. At 16, I left school with no qualifications. I got a job meat packing, hated it. But I did see engineers there and thought, I want to do that. So I decided to go back to school. It were Wakefield College where I met Peter Gisborne, glasses, dead patient. He always put time aside for me. I graduated with 99.7%, the highest mark ever. So I did an apprenticeship in electrical engineering and the rest is, well, history, I guess. Now I'm head of electrical transmissions for the national grid, basically moving electricity around the UK. Not blowing my own trumpet, but I became the youngest fellow at the IAT and was one of the UK's most influential women in the Telegraph. I honestly wouldn't have seen any of it through without Pete.
When I was 14, I got into a bit of trouble at school. I started writing poetry in my planner. Mr. Michael was my media teacher. He's got a bald head and he's proper cool. And he used to be in a band. He heard one of my poems and was like, yeah, you are onto something. He told me to perform it in the school assembly. He was always challenging my brain, pushing me to channel the right energy into my performance. 10 years later, things have changed quite a bit. I perform around the world. I wrote the poem for London's Night Tube and I won the Rising Star programme against 30,000 other speakers across 90 countries. I recited a poem on stage and thought, yo, this is crazy. A few nights ago, I was eating chicken and chips. The prize? A trip into space. And it was a poem that's taken me there. I'm representing the face of young humanity. Mum, you better be proud, And I never thought it at the time, but the way he taught me stuck with me forever. So Mr. Michael, thank you.
In the late 80s, it was hard to get a job as a mathematician. I used to be an actuary and I was looking for something new. I sent out 300 letters and got 2 replies. Both were no's. So I decided to go to graduate school to study computer science. That's when I met Elaine. She was a professor and wrote my first ever research paper with me. It was her that showed me code can be creative. She taught me how computers draw. I remembered something I learned in elementary school. If you add complementary colors in watercolor, they get grayer. She said, great, code it up. That's what was amazing about Elaine. If you had an idea, she would set you off doing it. Before our paper, there are only 3 fundamental shading algorithms in computer science. Well, now there's a 4th. It's called Gooch shading. Elaine gave me the skills and responsibility to pursue research in computer science. Now I help students make games and computer animations at Texas A&M. Some have launched with great success. I wouldn't have done any of this if it wasn't for Elaine.